if I could stand on the existing protocol. I know if I start recognizing everybody in the house, I will breach the protocol. And I don't want to be in trouble. But first of all, let me thank God for your lives. I want to thank God for my own life. I want to thank God for yet another year, another day, another moment in the history of our community. A couple of months ago, about 6 months ago, I didn't know I would be here. I was not thinking beyond the next minute, the next second, because I was battling COVID-19. So for me to be here today, I give thanks to God. And the reason why I'm saying this is to inform all of us, some of us that are so naive, thinking that the virus does not exist in Epe. It's here. Let us do our best to observe the protocol. Wear our mask, social distancing, wash our hands. Some of us are afflicted with the virus. They won't tell you, but me, I will say it so that you can learn from my own experience. Because I did everything possible. Yes, I had it. So let me, first of all, recognize, I want to thank all of you. All of you, because this year, Kayokayo, is so special in so many ways. Because it is our own Kayokayo. We took control of it. We took ownership of Kayokayo. We don't want to be running after our political leaders all the time, telling them to give us 2 million, 3 million. So we devised a strategy that let's reach out to all the sons and daughters of this community. Give us whatever you have, minimum 20,000 naira. And the result has been positive. It has been overwhelming. Sons and daughters of this community all over the world. In Canada, in London, they gave. One of my cousins, that was actually the highlight of the fundraising strategy. He was down with stroke. And I know he didn't have any money. He sent 10,000 naira. When I saw it, I shed tears. From nowhere, he doesn't have money. I know he doesn't. That is the story of our community. It's a story about the strength, the character of our community. We have all what it takes. All we need to do is take advantage of it. So on that note, let me recognize my brother. Once a speaker is always a speaker.
The speaking speaker?
Yes. I was speaking to him about 2 weeks ago. I only asked him one question on the phone. And he kept me engaged for 45 minutes. My brother, just one question now. So once you're a speaker, you're always a speaker. He was not ready for this, and he gave me everything. The thing was just flowing. My brother, may God continue to be with you. Our brother, former Speaker Emeritus, Adeyemi Kuforiji in the house. One of the beautiful stories of our community is the story of our political class, the political leaders, who are actually in the business of legislation. But some of them are now in the business of road construction. They are now building schools. They are now supplying transformer. It's nothing but an attestation to their commitment to advancement of education, to their commitment to infrastructural development, most importantly, to their love for the community. Except that I have a beef with the gentleman because the road that passed through Ideaba, but it has not reached Oke Abass. So I will implore that my brother to please extend that road to get to Oke Abass. Ladies and gentlemen, the Messiah himself, Honorable Abiodun Tobun, the engineer himself. Legislator, you want to construct the road, you see. May God continue to be with you. The story of our community, on behalf of His Royal Majesty, the Chief Host, I want to welcome all of you. Kabisi will join us momentarily. It's a little bit indisposed because of the wahala with Kayokayo, but he will join us. Bolori is here. We're expecting some traditional rulers. So it's our chief host. So I want to welcome all of you, of course, studying on the existing protocol. And thank you for being here, for being part of the story of our community. A beautiful story. A beautiful story. It's a story despite our dichotomy. We still have been able to forge ahead to work together for the development of this community. It is a story despite our dichotomy, which we have actually taken as our strength. Because we never focused on the obstacles, we focused on the objectives. It's a story of tremendous opportunities that we have in our community. It's a story, just like I told you, about an unbroken chain of quality representation from our political leaders. That is the story of our community. It might not be perfect, but it's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful of cohabitation between the Epes and the Ijebu Epes for over 176 years. It might not be perfect. It's a beautiful story. I don't know about you, but I'm glad I am from this Epe. I am proud to be from this community. It's a story about the tourism potentials that we have in our community. So it's a story of a rich and diverse culture. That is the story of our community. Don't let anybody fool you. We are not there yet, but we shall get there. That is the story. It is a story about our culture. Culture is so important. It's the key to the development. It unlocks the economic potentials of any community. And one of those cultures is what we are talking about here today. And that is Kayokayo. Kayokayo Festival is one of the foremost and the most iconic festival celebrated by the Epe people. One of the foremost. We have the Okoshi. We have Epe. We have Kilajolu. Why can't we industriously leverage on this, harness this for the development of our community? That is our goal, and that is what we will do. So Kayokayo is celebrated to usher in to the students that are here. If you don't understand the history, I'm trying to tell you, to usher in the new Islamic calendar year. It's celebrated by the Epe people. But most importantly, it is used to celebrate the landing, the grand entry of Kosoko in 1851 into Epe. When he came in with his warships, it took them a year to travel from Lagos to Epe. It was running 4 hours. Traffic is on Laja Road. It took them 1 year to travel from Lagos to Epe, having several stopovers. But upon landing in Epe, they came in the middle of the night. So when they came, there was no solar system, no solar energy, no generator. But they had to find a way to lighten up the entire space so as to be able to navigate their way around, which was what led to Etufu, which you will hear about this evening. That is the story of Kayokayo. So it has been a veritable platform to bolster and consolidate the social economic landscape of our community. It has been a platform to promote the local economy because it has been an evolving festival. And over the years, we have changed the ethos, we have changed the understanding, we have changed the perspective of Kayokayo. Kayokayo is no longer a celebration for the older generation, but for the younger generation as well. That is the story of Kayokayo. And one of the things that we are trying to do this year and the coming year, we could not do much this year because we have the COVID. But that does not say that we will do the thing without the flair and the flamboyance that the festival is known for. But one thing that we want to do, and I'm calling on our leaders, starting from next year, we are going to be calling on our corporate sponsors. All the corporate sponsors, we don't want money from you. If you want to sponsor Kayokayo, promise us you will give us 10 employment slots for sons and daughters of Epe.
Let's put our hands together for the coordinator.
That's what we want from you. If you give us money, we will not take it. That is our goal. So that these youths can have a job. So that we're not going to be running to the local government as the only employment center in Epe. The child of Yalakara, the child of Oluwo market woman, does not have an opportunity to work at an oil company, does not have an opportunity to work at Zenith Bank. The only job that is available is the Lagos State Civil Service. How do you expect him or her to compete with those from the Lagos Island? How do you? How will you expect him? So those are the things that we want to do. So Kayokayo has an historical, the religious, and of course the social aspect of it. The landing of Kosoko in 1851 was a king to Professor Anobi Noah. When Mula Anobi Noah, ibi Musulumi ni gbogbo mo sha kírun láàárọ̀ yìí. You know, when God ordered him to move out of his place because God was annoyed, when he landed in an unknown place, just similar to the way Kosoko landed in 1851. So the resettlement was very, very akin to Kosoko's resettlement in 1851. Of course, the social is let's eat, wine, and dine. Kayokayo, eat till you are filled. So Kayokayo is no longer, yes, it is a tradition, yet it is a culture, yes, it is a way of life, but it is more than that. It's an idea, a bold, righteous idea that has become a guiding light to the unknown generation. Time factor. You are the one that said you could make a speech. So that is what Kayokayo is all about. It is our culture, it is our tradition, and let us embrace it. But most importantly, we cannot thrive. The culture that I think that truly matters is a culture of love, is a culture of togetherness, is a culture of unity. That is what we need in our community. We cannot flourish as a community in an atmosphere of acrimony, in an atmosphere of divisiveness. We cannot. We have to be together. We have to speak with one voice. Tell you one voice. Well, since they are saying time factor, let me round up. I want to be like my speaker, the speaker that I called just to speak for 1 minute, that spoke for 45 minutes. Now, I want to share a beautiful story with you. It's a story of an old woman in a village who was blind. But God gave her the wisdom and the power to be able to predict into the future. Are you with me? That is the story of that old woman. So the younger generation, they always deride the woman. Mama, you're too blind. How can she see? She doesn't know anything, you know. So they went to her one day. They said, Mama, we know you are blind. They say you are powerful. They say you can see. But we want to test you today. The mama said, okay, my children, what is it? The children said, Mama, we have 2 birds in our hand. 2 birds. Can you tell us if those birds are dead or alive? And the mama said, my children, I cannot tell you whether those birds are dead or alive. If they are dead, maybe you are the one that killed the bird. If they are alive, maybe you have helped to keep those birds alive. All I know is that the birds are in your hand. That is the story of Epe. Honorable Tobun, the birds are in your hand. Honorable Kuforiji, the birds are in your hand. Professor Onibon, the birds are in your hand. Honorable Gabadin, Honorable Sanuth, the birds are in your hand. Honorable Chief Wale Mogaji, the birds are in your hand. Olu Epe in Council, the birds are in your hand. Oloja in Council, the birds are in your hand. Olu Epe, the birds is in your hand. Oloja of Epe, the birds is in your hand. And all of us, the birds are in our hands. So let's look into the future with hope, with optimism, knowing that we have these birds in our hands. We have to keep these birds alive. Let's keep hope alive. Thank you for listening. God bless you.